Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the history of Halloween. The history of Halloween and how it started. Halloween is currently celebrated by about 23 countries, but the tradition originated in the area that is now known as Ireland, the United Kingdom, and northern France. The tradition was celebrated by the Celts, who were people that originated from the Iron Age Europe about 2,500 years ago. The Celts then migrated westward toward Ireland and Scotland, where they settled, and you can still find their descendants in these regions today. This ancient mystical occasion was fetid with rituals that were believed to bestow fortune-telling beliefs on the various things that influenced human life, such as household items and the fruits of the harvest. Back in the day, the Halloween celebration took place on the last day of October. The ceremony was characterized by a colorful union of costumes that had evolved from the Celtic festival days of Samhain. The above was an annual observance of summer's end and was characterized by the mystic rites that were led by the Druidic priests and the Roman celebrations that honored the goddess of seeds, crops, and fruits, known as Pomona. Before the Christian church began to expand its influence among people, Halloween was already an established pagan influence that the church tried very hard to undermine. At the time, the church moved fast and amalgamated this ancient Halloween ritual under the religious-oriented auspices of All Saints or Hallows Day. And this is how the night that came before this feast was named All Hallows Eve. And when abbreviated in the old vernacular, you would end up with Halloween. This ancient fortune-telling ritual subtly followed the mid-19th century Scottish, Irish, and English immigrants to their new settlement areas in America, entered the 20th century, and the custom had taken root as the now popular Halloween parties. Currently, Halloween is celebrated in the form of high spiritual seasonal balls, masquerade parties, barn dances, the church or club get-togethers, and progressive dinners. Purpose of the Halloween event in the ancient days. Besides the ritualistic roots, Halloween events provided a formal ground for the conjuring of new relationships between males and females. This chaperoned forum brought hopeful romantics on one ground, and they would share a dance that would instinctively encourage the starting of a new relationship. Let it be remembered that the early 1900s were an era where both men and women had to abide by strict moral codes. A woman's interaction with a member of the opposite sex had to be modest, and a woman dared not converse with a man that they had not been formally introduced. How Halloween parties were organized in the ancient days. You must be wondering where the art of creating the hunting merry atmosphere was derived from. Well, the old-fashioned Halloween party was made successful by event organizers, who sought advice from the popular periodicals such as the Ladies' Home Journal, Harper's Bazaar, the Modern Priscilla, among others. The event organizers also sought party planning tips from relevant guides, such as the imaginative Boogie Books. The publications documented clever ways of creating decorations and invitations, including entertainment and refreshments. And to top it all off, the publications insisted that gatherings without soothsaying revels and games were not complete. And that's how the telling of fortunes was incorporated into Halloween. Ancient Halloween parties were also characteristic of illustrated picture postcards, characteristic of enchanting works of art, filled with elegant embossing and lively detail. The postcards were cheap to buy and send, and were used for all the imaginable holidays. During the golden age of postcards, Halloween was made to seem like a colorful standout in postcard imagery, and despite containing enchanting Halloween images, they basically wished the recipients luck in what they undertook. And as generations passed, the courting rituals evolved and became more flexible, and the childhood-oriented procession of trick-or-treating took over the Halloween celebrations. Evolution of the Halloween celebrations. Over the years, the old Halloween rituals have been forgotten, but that's in exclusion of apple bobbing. Notable is that the decorative imagery of Halloween past and the quaint soothsaying traditions are yet to lose their charm. Currently, the ancient engaging chants and rhymes, trials and tests are gaining more traction in the modern Halloween setting. Some of the rituals performed in the golden days featured lively antics of burning nuts and mirrors. There was also a charm-filled Irish potluck that went by the name Colcannon, which was used to search for answers. Ancient Halloween fortune-telling rituals. The Halloween apple is among the Halloween fortune-telling rituals practiced back in the day, where an apple was hung and the participant took turns in biting it. The game went by the name Snap Apple, and the players had to at least bite one apple from those that had been suspended from the ceiling by a sturdy ribbon and string. and the very first person that successfully performed this feat would be the first to marry. The whirling stick. On one of the whirling sticks was attached an apple, and on the other end, a lighted candle. A string was then attached near the apple, and the stick that had been suspended from the ceiling balanced so that it hung horizontally. The participants' hands were bound at the back, and the stick was set whirling. Each player was then given a few minutes to take a bite out of the apple while the stick was whirling around and around. Any of the participants that excelled in this challenge would find happiness when it came to matters of the heart, and the participant who encountered the candle was destined to experience misfortune with the possibility of singed eyebrows. The spell of the apple paring. In this game, the apple was pared and the skin is taken off. The participant would then fling it straight behind them, and whichever letter it may frame would begin their lover's true name, and he or she would then find them. The apple parings ritual. Using a sharp knife, a participant would pare an apple round and round and round. They would then toss the paring over their shoulder, and the initial formed will be the one that the participant will marry. You might be wondering why the apple is the only fruit that was used to fortune tell. Well, the simple explanation is that the apple was considered as a potent symbol of love and fertility, and this belief dates back to the period of ancient Rome, where harvest celebrations were dedicated to Pomona, the goddess of crops, seeds, and orchards. The celebrations took place on the 1st of November. Currently, Christians have designated November 1st as a day of honoring all the saints, as determined by Pope Gregory III. Modern Halloween celebrations. The modern man has found it hard to let go of the ancient Halloween rituals, so during Halloween, people will still adorn different costumes, but with a modern theme. The new Halloween costumes are scarier than what was worn in the ancient days. During this period, people attended parties. The courageous ones visited haunted houses, and others would carve pumpkins or gourds into jack-o'-lanterns. Modern Halloween celebrations in different countries. Germans refer to Halloween as All Hallows' Eve, which is followed by the All Saints' Day on November 1st, and All Souls' Day on November 2nd. According to their tradition, Germans honor the deceased on All Saints' Day. This they do by putting candles and lamps on the graves of their loved ones. They also decorate the graves with wreaths made from fir, pine cones, and boughs. Britons refer to the night before Halloween as Mischief Night. According to them, Halloween has the treats, while the Mischief Night has the tricks. Mischief Night is therefore celebrated before Halloween. On other occasions, it's celebrated before November 5th, which is the night before the bonfire. Scotland and Ireland. Ireland is the birthplace of Halloween. In modern Ireland and Scotland still celebrate bonfires and Halloween games. They also have a unique tradition, where they bake the barmbrack bread and hide rings and coins inside it. And whichever item you find in the pastry will tell you what your future holds. Austria. Austrians happen to have the most interesting way of celebrating Halloween, and this they do by dedicating the whole festival to pumpkins. The festival does not take part in the whole of Austria, but in a few parts of Lower Austria. If you visit the area, you will see a Halloween parade attached to the festival, and some jack-o'-lanterns that have been carved into the region's famous pumpkins and put on display. Philippines. The Philippines have a Halloween-like celebration that goes by the name Pangangaluluwa. According to Philippines tradition, Filipino children would go singing at a stranger's door to get treats. Filipinos also play pranks on their family members and will steal something that belongs to someone in their family and hide it around the home to make it seem like ghosts stole it. Japan. The Japanese people celebrated Halloween by dressing up, and therefore you will meet a procession dressed in costumes at the Kawasaki Halloween Parade near Tokyo. The parade is a costume contest and requires an application and entry fee to participate in. USA. Americans celebrate Halloween by dressing up in costumes and would gather up to share stories of witches and ghosts. You'll find pumpkins carved into glowing jack-o'-lanterns, and to keep with the old tradition, children would be in a procession knocking on doors for either trick or treat, hoping to fill their bags with candy. If you enjoyed watching this video, like and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.